Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your North American Challengers League Open Qualifier number 2, bit of a mouthful, coverage here on the CCG Esports Twitch channel, where we are getting to those heavy-hitting matchups, getting some switch-ups and teams taking on CCG, getting a higher level of talent, but you're getting the same level of elite talent here on the caster crew. Slayer and Quacks back with you. And Quacks, I know you've been foaming at the mouth for this first matchup. Tell me all about Gentle Hearts Gaming versus CCG Esports.
Yeah, I mean, lots riding for both of these teams, right? We are now in the 2-0 bracket. And for those of you who don't know, we are going to be playing on a Swiss stage format, which essentially means that a team getting to 3 wins means that they are officially locked in for the top 16, and a team going down to 3 wins means they are officially out, so they will not be making it to the next stage. Both of these teams, they went 2-0 yesterday. They're looking to repeat that same success, maybe be the team that actually goes 5-0 here today. I think it's a very real possibility for both of them. But yeah, lots riding on the line, and both of these teams incredibly stacked. In fact, mirror images of each other, if I would say so. Both teams have incredibly insane talent, like basically prospects that a lot of people think can really make it far if they are given the right development. I would say for CCG, that's Yukino. And I think if we're going to be introducing Gentle Hearts Gaming, and if we're going to be talking about young talent that has the potential to make it all the way, we got to introduce you guys to Anori B if you haven't already heard about him. This guy is an incredibly talented AD carry. He has been in the scene for a short amount of time, but he has already proven himself incredibly well, especially in Open Qualifier 1. And he's paired up with Rox908, a support that has been at the top of the table for a really long time, has that veterancy, so that ability to carry Ainoribi into those higher places, really facilitate him as a carry. And I think that bot lane for Gentle Hearts Gaming, that is going to be the lane that we are going to have to look at, and it's going to be up to CCG to shut that down.
Yeah, certainly. And the roster kind of keeps rolling here for Gentle Hearts. To be honest with you, they have a veterancy going to the top side Soul, who's been a part of Tier 2
Yeah.
and, these qualifiers for a very, very long time. Krakadon and Ariendel have been playing with each other for a very long time as well. I was really impressed with Ariendel, especially last fall. He was a big part of Clown Gaming's resurgence in the ACL for any ACL fans out there. I think he's one of those young mids that could, be put in that pool with guys like Samikin on the right day. I think an Ariendel could be a threat as well. But yeah, I like that you mentioned it, Quacks. This is kind of, these two rosters did kind of the same thing coming out of OQ1, right? They had pretty good rosters, fell a bit flat, didn't fall inside that top 8 so well, and they both went out and just added heavy hitting talent
Yeah.
on both sides. So it will be very fun to watch. Before we get to the draft, I want to make one quick correction here for CCG. Unfortunately, Instinct was battling an illness yesterday while playing. I've been told it got a bit worse, so they're just going to rest him now for this point with the Swiss stage. Obviously, CCG's roster has eyes on bigger things going through these qualifiers, but luckily for CCG, they do have the one and only EU Red coming in to step in, a very, very capable AD carry player at this level as well. So both subs are now in for CCG Esports, and without further ado, Quacks, I'm going to throw up the screen here. I want you to take us through this Game 1 draft because, boy, do we have some fun picks for some of those players we were talking about.
Yup, and I mean, discussing the draft, I really like what CCG have already opted in to here. We talked a little bit about it before the broadcast started, Slayer, about EU Red being a very proficient Varus player, and right out of the gate, you can see that they B1 picked that. They wanted to give familiarity over to EU Red and just make sure that he is on a champion he's comfortable with, and pairing it up with a Renata gives this lane a fair amount of aggression with that bailout available. But on the other side, it seems like GHG are playing that exact same game of aggression. Callista Blitzcrank, and this is exactly what you would expect to see for Anori B. He had crazy picks yesterday that were allowed to go aggressive. Things like the Draven came out, the Kaisa came out, and it was part of the reason why they were so successful yesterday, being able to unlock this carry in Anori B, allow him to farm safely, roam freely, and overall just be this monster when the mid to late game rolled around. And it seems like that's exactly what they're doing here. They have a lot of CC, particularly they are very high up in the knockups department with Blitzcrank and Aatrox and Jarvan all being locked in for this Gentle Hearts Gaming squad here in this game number 3. So yeah, a lot of protection for Nori B. CCG look like they're doing the same thing as well, trying to protect EU Red. I do also see the Azir, so I'm wondering if maybe CCG and Flowcon have adapted to the ways of Showmaker and are going for that newly coined Grasp of the Undying Azir tank build that we've seen a little bit of. It's gained some traction. Haven't seen it a ton in pro play because it's so new, but I'm really interested to see how it plays out, especially in a matchup like Taliyah, where it is usually Taliyah favored.
Yeah, I mean, so much great analysis to unpack there from you, Quacks. First of all, but there are a couple points I'd like to make. I know, Quacks, you're not the favorite, a fan of the champion of Talia. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. But if we're talking Ariendel, certainly one of his
Yeah.
pocket picks. He's one of the better Talia players
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. I like the J4 a lot from Krakodon because there are very few ways to contain Olaf. There's even less ways to contain Crimson's Olaf. A Cataclysm is one way to kind of deal with it. At least just lock the Olaf in there, even if Krakodon has to potentially be a sacrificial lamb. You at least have him locked in that Cataclysm. You have a Callista that can do damage from through it. You can an Aatrox. You can hit those sweet spots if you line them up through a Cataclysm. And then obviously Talia, I think, plays really well alongside that ultimate as well. So Gentle Hearts certainly going towards those pocket picks. Obviously CCG as well. I mean, you got Crimson on Olaf again. We saw what it did yesterday. You've got EU Red, like you mentioned, on that Varus as well. And Trevor is a very, very potent Renata player. This is just all the makings of an elite game, an elite matchup here. Without further ado, folks, let's get in to this game number 3 for both these squads, a 2-0 matchup between two top 16 teams.
Yep, absolutely. I'm incredibly excited. And remember, this match, a win for these teams means that they are in the top 16. They are officially into the GSL stage. So a lot riding for both of these teams and just making it so much easier for them to play potentially more experimental picks for the remainder of this Swiss stage. Such a burden will be taken off of the team that wins this matchup, and they'll be able to relax, recuperate, sort of take it easy in these next couple of games if they manage to take that victory. So yeah, lots riding on them, and expecting both of these teams to perform at their best.
Speaking of expectations, you already saw a little bit there while Quax was talking. You pick Blitzcrank, you're going to get some silliness level 1 there. Rocks 908 trying to fish for one of those crazy hooks. Good ward there coming across, I believe, from EU Red just to spot it out. Gentle Hearts, though, are going to try to push the tempo. I mean, you got a Talia, good level 1. You've got a Blitzcrank. They will get some early vision down, so we'll be able to track Yukino's clear on this Maokai. And, it's a fun point to mention as well, Quacks, because I know it's a small sample size from Yukino, right? We've only seen 2 games from the guy. But he is now switching that tempo, trying to show a different side to his jungle capability. We saw elite Xin Zhao games from him yesterday. A lot of carry-oriented champions. Now I'm really intrigued to see how he plays on the super supportive Maokai.
Yeah, I mean, elite is a little bit of an understatement. He went absolutely crazy on the Xin Zhao yesterday. It was incredible to see. But yeah, like you said, Slayer, pivoting over toward this Maokai pick to more on the line of being a facilitator. But already you can see that Gentle Hearts Gaming, they don't want to let this Maokai, farm this first quadrant or this first clear freely without being seen, because Maokai very much falls into the realm of 3 camp into gank. So being able to spot out where this pick starts makes it much easier for Gentle Hearts Gaming to track where he wants to go and play around it. And when a champion like Jarvan, who can easily go over terrain, easily go over walls, has an incredibly good kit for things like counter ganking, that one ward can really spiral into something big that could net Gentle Hearts Gaming an advantage here early on.
We do see, though, Krakodon has opted for the full clear here, pathing towards the bot side, which is a bit intriguing because, like you expect, a Blitzcrank lane early levels is going to have a push going on, especially with a Callista. This bottom lane for Gentle Hearts is really indexing not only on a Nori B, but on being successful as early as possible. And it's really reinforced by the fact that EU Red has that lethal tempo. That means we're expecting a not lethality, the opposite, an on-hit Varus coming out from EU Red on this Varus, which I also really like given how bruisery and front to backy I think this Varus is going to have to play. I like the rune and itemization choice. You have that conversation every time you see a Varus, Quacks.
Yeah, Varus is ridiculously versatile in what items he can buy. In particular, I'm kind of hoping that Red goes for something like the Terminus here. I am personally a believer in thinking that this is probably the most overloaded item in the game. It gives you AD damage, AP damage, magic resist, and armor. It gives you so many stats, and on a champion like Varus, who really benefits from those auto attacks, can make use of the mixed damage that Terminus provides. It's honestly a no-brainer.
Well, it looks like potential lane gain could be a no-brainer here for Yukino. He is positioned in a brush, just like a natural tree would be. Crimson just trying to bait Soul in to jump forward with those sweet spots. Good slow comes across, the root drops down. They're trying to just burn down Soul. Does have flash available, but his health bar is far too low. Flashes after the Q3, sweet spot, but Crimson sinks him home for another first blood. CCG 3 for 3 in that category so far in Swiss stage.
Yeah, beautiful positioning there from Crimson, backing off of the wave, making Soul think that he is safe from getting poked down by this Olaf, and just amazing positioning overall. Hugely successful gank, and now Crimson should be set up for a while now. This is kind of something that we've seen from CCG throughout the tournament, right, Slayer? We've seen Crimson get maybe 1 to 2 ganks, you know, a little bit of help in the early game, and then Yukino will essentially leave him on an island with that advantage and go to help the bot lane, go to help the mid lane. So that's exactly what I'm expecting here. Just basically do what they're used to. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. You know, something was broke on Flaukon, though. He nearly actually falls there to Ariendel. Surprised nobody blew flashes trying to grab that kill. Ariendel, though, will edge himself out a bit of an advantage in that lane. Bot side, got to give credit to you, Red and Trevor. They are doing a good job, despite the fact, you know, you got to look out for Blitzcrank hooks. Either one of those two get hooked, they're likely dead. Speaking of dead, Crimson might be dead.
He doesn't have any sums.
Doesn't have, nothing. And the CC chain, the knockups, like you talked about, Quacks, all sink home. And immediately, an answer from Gentle Hearts Gaming, getting Soul a kill back.
Yup, nothing that Crimson can do there. He burned both summoners on the attempt to kill Soul earlier. And now, with Crimson down, going back to the fountain, that is going... Oh, hang on, Hook.
Oh, Hook lands. Trevor under turret here. Ignite going over top. No Ren comes across. Handshake onto rocks. Despite the hook, no summoners really burned, except on the side of rocks, and CCG's bottom lane can escape for the time being.
Just a little jump scare there for the CCG fans. But Trevor remains unscathed, didn't have to burn any summoners like you said, Slayer. But now it's Krakadon on this top side, just going for the grubs. Manages to get all 3 and will probably get out uncontested. But Flowcon potentially looking for something here, but will not find it.
Those grubs are going to be very valuable, as we are pretty deadlocked at this point in the game. Does look like CCG's bottom lane actually will get away with a good push here, but oh boy, Yukino might get caught. Good seismic shove. The knockups still singing through here for Gentle Hearts. And look who's here. Soul pops the World Ender, chasing down this Maokai who does have flash, gets over the wall. Great Emperor's Divide comes across from Flaukon. Can they save Yukino? The wall is still up. The seismic shove lands. Ariendel wants the kill, and Soul's going to take it. But Gentle Hearts are really revving up in the early game now.
Good kill there from Gentle Hearts, and good punish on the miss position there from Yukino. It was a bit of a struggle to get the Ancient Tree at first, but they just have so much CC in their kit, so many knockups, and so many ways to catch up to the Maokai, who in of himself already has, you know, not a ton of base and movement speed, doesn't have the boots acquired, doesn't have much innate mobility in himself. And so they just pick him up, manage to get themselves a kill, and it's another kill going over to Soul. So that early lead that we saw from Crimson now completely washed away, as Soul potentially the dominant factor in this lane now with this gold advantage.
Interesting to see how he decides to itemize through. I know Aatrox currently, you know, has those more lethality angles, more bruiser angles. I know you're more fan of a bruiser angle, but hey, Ultimate's a good pop topside. No World Ender on Soul means Crimson hits the go button, and that is just too easy of a shutdown. Crimson smacks right back as the topside continues to be a bloodbath.
And Slayer, we do it all the time. Caster curses are real. The moment I say Soul is doing well, the moment I say that he has made up the difference from that early game, Crimson reminds us that he is Olaf, and he just takes the fight to the Aatrox, getting a solo kill for himself. Crimson showing up.
Now we're back exactly kind of where we want to be. Pretty even here. There's not a huge CS discrepancy going right now. I said it would even out because Oriental's got a slight lead on Flaucon. The Crimson has also picked up a lead over Soul with those kills here. So it's exactly how you want a Titan v Titan matchup like this. It is intriguing to see nobody's gotten over that Dragon. We saw last game for CCG, the first Drake didn't actually fall until about 14 minutes. And the way we're going could be a similar sight until the Caster Curse comes through again, and we see Krakenon's actually just soloing up the Dragon as I speak.
Yeah, I mean, he has the ability to do this. There's bot lane priority. If anything goes wrong, then they would be able to rotate up. But, I mean, you can see Yukino on the minimap. He's going up toward his top side. He's not going to try and contest this Dragon. Even if he knew it was there, I don't think he would be able to. So just another free objective going the way of GHG, who have now gotten 2 objectives in a row. Trevor caught, though.
Ooh, a good Ren to get a window there for the hook. Cleanse comes across from Nori B onto the Chains of Corruption. Second bout will land on Roxy. Red starting a free fire with that lethal tempo. Has the bailout. He's going all in for Nori B, but did he step too far? The flashback. Whoa. He saves him ult galore, but the smackdown cataclysm from Krakenon breaks the back of CCG's bot lane.
Krakenon with the hero play, but we're not done yet.
Flaucon doesn't get the Emperor's Divide, gets shoved right in Ariandel's face, but he's out of mana. One more auto will sink it, and GHG are rolling through now.
GHG get kills across the board. A solo kill coming out for Ariandel. Not only do they have the kills, but they also have the objectives, and now they finally get to make a sizable gold lead here. About 10 minutes into the game, they're about 1K up. And yeah, GHG striking back here at this 10-minute mark. They managed to get themselves kills, objectives, and they're looking to put this game in their favor.
And I just love what you're seeing from Krakenon right now. It seems like this last couple of minutes, every time you think, if only J4 was here, Krakenon has in fact been there to make sure to sink a kill home. Obviously, it would have been nice to get a couple of those kills on a Nori B, potentially this Kalista, but kills are kills, man, and J4 can utilize them well.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Krakenon manages to get those 2 kills, now has the Sundered Sky complete. So first item coming through for the Jarvan of all champions, which was not exactly what I was expecting. I mean, you look at the CS difference between the 2 junglers, and you would probably not think a Jarvan would be the first one to even get the first item in the game. But here we are. He has the Sundered Sky complete. This is a humongous power spike for the champion. With this, I expect him to be a lot more active, and you can already see there maybe looking for a play on the bot side.
Oh, but good sniff out there from you, Red and Trevor. It definitely sucks to give up your turret, give up plating, lose CS as that Varus, but it's a lot better than giving up kills with that 4-man roam down. So good answer there. Also from Yukon on the other side, picks up the 3 grubs, the second spawn, so we have an even grub count. And now maybe might be come down here to support his bottom lane. Have the Azir roaming down as well. This could get dicey.
Yup, the wave about to crash, so Rock's not going to be in the middle of 2 towers anymore, and they're probably just going to bail out. They probably see, yeah, they do see rather Yukino on a ward. They don't want to chance it. There is a gold bounty on Krakenon now, so don't want to give that over to EU Red. Just smart plays all around here from GHG, knowing when they can force, knowing when they can make these more aggressive plays, like proxying between the towers, and knowing simply just when to leave, not chance it.
No need to. You have a team comp that is very well designed to fight later in the game, and power spikes pretty hard in the mid game. Certainly the advantage that this comp has, you know, just looking at the real damage dealers, you're going to favor a Kalista and a Talia in the, 14 to 24 minute window over an on-hit Varus and an Azir here. So Gentle Hearts, they needed to get some sort of early lead. They're right on schedule so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of going back more toward what we were talking about earlier, the amount of CC that Gentle Hearts Gaming do have. You know what does not get hit by CC, or rather what can just simply say no to Crowd Control Slayer?
Oh, I know all well. Valheim knows really well too, I think.
Absolutely. This Olaf needs to start being put a little bit behind. Otherwise, it has the potential to simply run down Nori B later on in this game with that unstoppable Ragnarok. They need to try and pay attention to Crimson a little bit here. Yeah, hook goes wide by Rox.
Field goal is good. Yeah, you talked about how the game plans have kind of changed. The last couple of games usually leave Crimson onto his devices. Seeming like now Yukino, with how this game state has gone, actually been trying to set up for a couple of dives. You can see how many blue wards are actually in that top side. in favor of CCG, looking like he was potentially trying to stack up for a dive, and now CCG are willing to over-index their, pretty hard mid-game power spiking champion, which is going to be that Olaf, because I understand the argument, right? You can necessarily wait for this Varus to scale up, especially this Azir, and Crimson could be the one to pull the rest of the squad through towards those 3-4 item power spikes if the game, dictates it.
It also makes more sense to put a little bit more resources on toward this Olaf, so that way Red, when the game starts to hit that mid to late game stages, when the lanes become a little bit more blurred in terms of who's going in where, you have people focusing more toward that Olaf instead of that Varus, allowing Varus to get more free farm, get closer toward those item spikes, and just have less attention by Gentle Hearts Gaming on him. But so far, I mean, it seems like that's what's going to happen. Crimson's 2-1, still a threat on the Olaf, hasn't been put too far behind. It might be looking for a kill here.
Yep, there's World Ender. Here comes a ultimate overflow from Maokai, and Soul just cuts off from his escape. Crimson's going to get another one, but bot side, the dive is the answer. All that CC, Kragadon gets one. Great hostile takeover from Trevor. Can he find any trade? No, he can't. The 4-man wrecking ball knocks down CCG's bottom lane and their turret all in one.
Yup, they managed to get the turret, they managed to get 2 kills, but on the other side of the map, a kill going over to Crimson on this Olaf. 3-1 now, this champion. Definitely going to be in the back of GHG's mind as the game continues. And now, with that kill onto Aatrox with Soul, going back to the fountain, they are going to use that to go for this Herald, as all of the members have either reset or are on that bot side. And I have to ask the question, where are they going to put this Herald? They could put it top lane, try to put Crimson in these other lanes to be a part of these fights, or they could maybe try to put it somewhere like mid lane. Give, I'm blanking on his name, give Flocon the ability to roam around the map, do the same thing, counter those dives that we just saw from GHG. So I'm really interested to see what Yukino decides to do, but a fight potentially breaking out here.
Ooh, and Rox is just dead, has to go for the Callisto ult, but that's going to get Ariendel killed. Flank comes across from Soul. Crimson's behind it.
Soul
it's a
on the
complete
back.
mess, but Flaucon is going to fall soon. Kragadon grabs that one. Now it's Yukino with the bailout. Will not save him. Anori B grabs that kill. Great sidestep from Trevor, but he's only got Crimson as his only friend there, and he can't chase down anybody without Ragnarok and Ghost up. So Gentle Hearts come out of the fight ahead once again.
Yep, they managed to grab 2, but no objectives quite on the board, so they're not going to be able to transition those kills into anything super duper meaningful.
Oh, great chance of corruption, and there's the kill sunk through, and Nori B just a little bit too close, and Red snipes him down.
Yeah, but Trevor is the one who got the shutdown. This Varus has been struggling a little bit in this game. That shutdown could have potentially turned the tide, but now he's in trouble.
And now he greeds for the turret, gets knocked out of the Cataclysm, but that's an AD carry. He's way too squishy. Ariendel, great Weaver's Wall to grab that kill. Gentle Hearts just continue to answer every play from CCG pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, little bit of unfortunate sequence of events there for EU Red. Doesn't get the shutdown, gets picked off. And yeah, Gentle Hearts Gaming, I mean, you have to think that CCG, they have been playing against, rather lower seeded teams. This really is the first time that I feel like either of these teams have been truly challenged with their opponents. In the case of GHG, this is the first time they've had to go against an opponent who's a higher seed than them. And this is the first time for CCG that they've had to go against an opponent that's even in the top 10. Right, so I think maybe CCG not used to this level of play that GHG have been displaying, maybe trying to dust off some of the kinks that they might have had from yesterday, having to go a little bit easy, but we'll have to wait and see as this mid to late game starts to roll around. No objective spawning anytime soon, but you can already tell GHG just bullying out any members of CCG that try to enter this bot side jungle.
And for the last 8 or 9 minutes, the bot side jungle has been Kragadon's jungle. We've honestly subset into a vertical jungling. Is I do see Soul stacked up here to try and flank. The hook will not sink home for Rox, and now Yukino wants to look for a turn. Chains of Corruption, they're locking the Aatrox down, but can they burn through the healing? Hostile Takeover will push the rest of GHG off the team. Great play from Trevor. CCG find a pick, and look who's coming down. The big Mad Titan himself, Crimson, looking for the axes. Still has the Ragnarok up if he wants it. Finally drops it, forces the Callisto ult out of Anori B, and that's the only reason why Rox survives.
Yeah, good save there by Anori B, but now it's going to be up to Yukino if he passed his driver's test.
Oh, I like
But
this.
they're just going for the second one. I love that.
They knew they could knock the turret down, so why not drop it onto the second one? Can they pick up both tier 2s? It looks like it. And Yukino once more. He's got an Ori B. Forces the cleanse out. Great Cataclysm. And Krakenon will pick off Yukino. Trevor, the next one, gets Seismic shoved in front of the whole team. Ignite not going to be enough. So 1 kill found for Gentle Hearts, but it costed them 2 whole structures.
2 whole structures indeed. CCG punch him back with that Rift Herald, a huge pickup for them that nets them so much gold at the time when they needed it most. So now it's going to be up to them to go back, spend that gold. Still though, E-Red only 1 kill on this Varus, about a 1,000 gold difference here from the 80 carries, but that's almost nothing compared to what we see between these top laners. You can see that Crimson is about 1.3k gold up ahead of Soul, who's also been struggling in this game. And I have to think that this Olaf is just going to be such a headache for GHG to deal with, especially when you have a champion like Renata who can save this Olaf from dying. Even if they get the Olaf, it's not guaranteed that they actually get him. It's a consolation prize, if you will.
Yeah, and we do see 2 item power spikes coming through for a couple of these Gentle Hearts carries. Seraph and Leandri's completed there for Oriendel. And hey, you talked about that new Terminus. Nori B likes it so much. Wants to get it on that Callista. I like it. I mean, any auto attack based champion is going to love the new Terminus.
Yep, Rox waiting in the wings here, but I think the only person he spotted that he could hook was Crimson, and that is not the player you are looking for. A little bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi mind trick to maybe make him try to go for it. But yeah, not a good hook.
All right, Weaver's wall's down, doesn't find much, and Rox misses
Rox
the hook,
is in
and that makes
trouble.
Blitz pretty useless. Chains of Corruption, can they burn him before the collapse clips down? They do. Krakenon has a red cornered, but no friends to push the damage through. 2 kills coming to the hands of Flaukon. Yukino looking for more, follows Oriental over the wall. This is my forest, he screams, as the rest of the squad sinks home for a Flaukon triple. CCG bite back.
CCG, they managed to win the team fight off of a pick onto Rox, and so much credit to Trevor there. He managed to land all of those grabs, managed to keep EU Red alive with the Guardian and all the shields that Renata provides with her spells, and just made Krakenon on this Jarvan, like you said, Slayer, completely isolated. The team could not follow up. They were too busy dealing with Crimson, who didn't even die in that exchange. This Olaf is so unbelievably tanky. And now I have to think they got the Mountain Dragon, their first dragon of the game, and it seems like they are confidently into the driver's seat now. They have the gold advantage. They won the fight. They got the dragon. And now it's just up to them to carry that momentum. And here comes another fight.
There's the Ragnarok double teleport. Crimson, he is going to be squishy, and he's going to get shut down. Nori B grabs that one. Flaukon couldn't get there to save his top laner in time. Baron is up on the cards. JHD have that man advantage and a big-time shutdown of their own.
But you can see Krakenon, he's completely split off from the rest of the team. He has to deal with this mid-wave, and the death timers are not long enough for them to go for this Baron, so they're just going to opt to not even try. They managed to get the kill, but no objective along with it.
And the gold still stays close. Gentle Hearts, I think, got up to nearly a 3k gold lead at one point. That has evaporated. Dragon stacking, not super one-sided. Turret count, nothing. Grubs, nothing. I think you guys get the point that this game is certainly on the proverbial knife's edge every caster likes to throw out.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the best kind of games of League of Legends, right? The ones that are on a knife's edge, like you said, Slayer. One mistake can land you in the dirt. And Soul, looking for a fight. He gets you red!
And he's going to flash right over the wall, dashes out. Crimson chasing down, does have the Ragnarok. Krakenon is here because we know this is his jungle on the bot side. And a misstep from EU Red, that spell shield really threw him for a loop.
Yep, the Profane Hydra, the lethality, Aatrox, but another fight breaking out, CCG.
Great root, Orientel's here though as well, and they just popped the tree, cut her down in an instant, and Ori B is gonna stay safe. Krakenon looking for more, gets the Cataclysm. Trevor flashes away, but the turret is not long for the world here, and Trevor and Flaukon, they can't hold down everything. And GHG are just gonna push forward more. Great hook, doesn't land. They try to hook all the way away from the turret with the Callista ult. That would have been some great tech, but the hook doesn't land, so nothing more happens.
Yeah, CCG just getting picked off there. They didn't respect the damage from Seoul, and they ultimately end up paying the price and didn't respect as well the amount of vision and the amount of wards by GHG in that bot side jungle. So 2 members go down. They managed to get a turret along with it. And curiously enough, CCG are around this Baron. They're actually potentially starting it up. No, they're not. They don't want to go for this. This is a bad call if CCG decide to start up the Worm.
Yeah, they got the ward, but that one ward was doing so much work, it allowed Oriental to see that they were going towards the pit. And Talia is easily one that could disrupt any vision clearing near Baron to just smack it. And you do not want Baron aggro. If there's one thing me and Quacks have learned from both qualifiers is Baron is where teams have lost most of their games.
Yeah, I mean, Baron got a glow up. Let's just say that with Season 14, this is no longer an objective that after you get 1 kill, you can just rush him down. Baron has completely different attacks, is a little bit tankier than last season. Overall, this is like the level 50 boss version of Baron. And crack it on.
All right, both bolts to the bottom lane out. Trevor is getting annihilated by those Rens, and both EU Red and Trevor are going to fall. Nori B double, Gentle Hearts. Baron is a-calling.
Yep, no chance for survival for the bot lane of CCG there, and no chance of survival from this Baron as GHG, they pivot on toward this objective. CCG want to put a stop to it.
Hook lands. I mean, Yukino didn't get to play the game. He's just CC'd the entire time. Crimson pops the Ragnarok, but can't kill off Krakadon, who survives. Crimson far too low, will fall, does knock down Krakadon, and that might actually stop the Baron play for Gentle Hearts.
Not only that, but Krakadon being down, the health bars somewhat low on the side of GHG. They don't want to chance it. They want to remain firmly into the driver's seat. They're about 4K gold up. They don't want to lose that. And they're going to get another shot at trying to get an objective and fight CCG for it as this dragon is spawning in a little less than 30 seconds here. And both teams, their eyes are on the prize.
Oh, the prize might be Flaucon. Oriental flashes and try to get the seismic shove, lines up the hook on by Rocks. Flaucon gonna get a redemption heal flash away himself. So a bit of a wary flash from Oriental actually ends up paying off. Both mid laners losing that key summoner.
Yup, and that is going to be Flaucon forced to give up the flash. Has the TP available. They can still look for a fight here, but look at GHG. They are in the jungle. They are zoning them off. This is such a hard dragon to get to, and they're not even going to try, Slayer.
Yeah, you can't contest with Smite and Callista Rend. Another advantage given over. Speaking of Callista, we hype up Nori B for a reason. This is one of his pocket pick champions. 9-1 now, 3 items deep on this Callista. This is where superstars will perform, and that hook does land onto Crimson. Miles dropped the Ragnarok. Great Callista ult will get Rocks 908 out of safety. Root's going to land onto Krakadon. Hostile takeover, only going to find one onto Krakadon. And Nori B, he's going crazy in the backline, but Flaucon shows him back, and Nori B's alive. He survives, and he sets up the SmackDown fight for Gentle Hearts. Hopping all over, grabs himself a triple. North America, welcome to your NA Superstar of the Future.
Nori B, remember his name! He gets a triple kill, and now it's an ace for Gentle Hearts Gaming. They'll push down mid. Their health bars, they're low, but they're saying it's enough. We can go for the dragon, and now they're going to pivot towards the Baron. Uncontested top 5 ADC in the OQs. Nori B living up to the hype here on this Callista pick.
Now this game derailing for CCG. Gold lead is going to balloon to past, I believe, 8K with this uncontested Baron picked up. I want to make sure and look how much gold that, yeah, that's 2K gold that Nori B is going to take back to the base. Got to be a locked-in 4th item. Grabs, he grabs, why am I blanking on the name of that item?
Jock Show.
Yeah, Jock Show, just for some extra tankiness. Itemization coming through for these other members of GHD, and man, they are about to put the rest of this OQ on notice, Quacks, if this goes as expected.
Absolutely. I mean, Nori B now 4 items for the Callista. That extra tank stats, like we mentioned, Slayer. If you couldn't kill the Callista last fight, what makes you think you can kill him at all at this point? Is, yeah, now the rest of GHG, they all have the Baron buff. You can see Ariandel on that top side will probably set up for about a 4-1 split. The Weaver's Wall now at level 3, so if any fight breaks out, this Talia can surf on down toward that fight. I'm really liking this positioning here by GHG. This is such a good way to split up the members of CCG, make them go to several different lanes, just because they're so much weaker at this point. The members of Gentle Hearts Gaming could easily beat them out in a push with this Baron buff and the additional stats that they have.
The game, though, still far from over. We talked about CCG. They do have pretty decent scaling. Oh, there goes Yukino, gets hooked, thrown into the rocks as well. They're just going to burn the tree down once more. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Bailout comes across, but Yukino will fall. Hostile takeover only finds Krakodon.
Crimson.
And an Ori B as well in the background, who does get shut down. But what does it cost the rest of CCG? Crimson drops, only the bottom lane for CCG to stand. And this could potentially be the base and more.
Yeah, the pings coming out in the mid lane. They're going to be able to pick up the inhibitor. EU Red and Trevor, the only one standing, but they have a minion wave. They could look for the end here. This Varus is not strong, only has 2 items, and is incredibly squishy.
There's no ult available, no hostile takeover, no chains of corruption. EU Red has to tower under his own
They don't
turret.
have a wave!
There's no wave. There's only one cannon minion. Can they get the Nexus turret down? They will nearly get it. Yukino, couple seconds away, but EU Red, he's going to get killed off by Soul. The main damage left gets the shutdown. The bailout comes through, but the Nexus will fall. GHD go 3-0 and knock down CCG.
And a nail biter to end the game. They managed to get the Nexus. But all in all, it was Gentle Hearts Gaming who showed up here. They will continue their run 3-0. Now they are locked for the top 16. A huge burden off the shoulders of this squad. And Inori B proving everyone once again that he is a name to remember, a player to put your eyes on with these aggressive picks. And man, what a game from him and the rest of Gentle Hearts Gaming.
Man, and you know, yeah, Gentle Hearts, I gotta give more credit because the stat sheet's not going to show up, but Krakodon's J4 was just massive at multiple points in this game.
Absolutely.
He was always in the right place in that early game. Oriendel found solo kills, gave himself an advantage over Flaucon's Azir as well. And with those, and not combined with Nori B, it was enough to get over that lead from Crimson. Oh, wow, that is one hell of a start to, I guess that already happened a bit ago, if we're being realistic with timing, but for us and all the viewers at home, what a start to this second day of OQs. And it's just going to keep rolling from here, Quacks.
Yup. Congratulations to Gentle Hearts Gaming for winning, getting themselves into the top 16. Unfortunately for CCG, they will be falling down to the 2-1 bracket. Still only need one more game in order to put themselves in the top 16. And they have 2 more chances to do it. So as the night continues, as the Swiss stage draws on, we are going to be covering CCG in their attempt to pick up one more game and get themselves into that top 16 for the GSL stage. But we're going to take a short little break while we wait for Game 2's replay file to come onto us, the casters. So until then, I have been Quacks, that has been Slayer, we are your casters, and we will see you guys after a short little break.
We'll see you guys for Clown Gaming versus CCG, so stay tuned for that one.